Hi everyone, Jeremy Bailey here, your Flying Realtor. Today we're going to talk about some of the changes that are going on in the real estate market, specifically related to showings. How are we showing properties in order to put them under contract and get them sold? We're going to be talking specifically about two things: open houses and showings. Open houses are pretty simple. They're canceled. In Rhode Island, they're not canceled by executive order. Technically, the governor has asked us not to have any open houses, and we've agreed to comply. Technically, if we could have an open house if there were less than 5 people there, but that's just creating a potential hazardous situation that nobody wants to get involved with, or at least nobody that I know anyway. So as far as I know, all the other realtors, including myself, we've canceled all of our traditional open houses. So instead of those traditional open houses, what we're doing instead are virtual showings. Now these can be pre-recorded, or they could be live. You could even do a virtual open house via Facebook Live. And what would be helpful is if you have someone with you who could potentially answer questions, or at least be able to type and answer questions during those live segments. Or you can pre-record them. Pre-recording is the easiest. And I want to talk a little bit about the virtual showings, pre-recorded or live. This is important because in order for buyers to truly get a good feel for the layout of a house, you need actual video walking through the house. And your traditional virtual tours generally are twofold. One, people take pictures and they turn them into this fancy open house. That doesn't cut it at all. That's not really a virtual tour. The second virtual tour, they are video, but they're cut and edited in such a way that it's really difficult to get a feel for the layout of a property. I'm going to bring up a virtual showing that I did on a new construction home and just show you what I did and how I walked through the property so that the buyer could get a feel for how the property was laid out. So I'm just going to hit play right here, and it'll just give you an idea of what I did. I use an image stabilizer too to make the video as smooth as possible and not as shaky as my hand. So you can see I walked into the first bedroom here. I'm walking in and showing the progress on the bathroom with the shower and everything. I'm showing some relevant things. This particular buyer wanted to know where exactly the fan was in the bathroom, so I showed them. Let me take a walk in here to the master bedroom. And what's also important is I have a wide angle camera on my phone and on some of my other devices that I use. So it's really important, if you can, to use a wide angle so you can really get a feel for the room. Some of the camera angles, they're so narrow that you really can't see, more than a quarter or an eighth of the floor, and it's really difficult to tell. All right, so we got that there. So that's a little bit about virtual showings. Now, after the virtual showing, we're asking buyers do a drive-by. A lot of times buyers will call you up and say, I drove by and I don't really like the location. And we eliminate it right there. So we don't even have to go to an in-person showing. So that's a buyer's responsibility. That even if we weren't in the current state that we were in right now, we expect buyers to do that before we schedule the showings. After we get past the virtual showings, we are doing in-person showings, and we're asking that only the people that show are the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Whoever's name is going to be signed on that dotted line in the purchase and sales contract, and subsequently the mortgage, should they be getting a mortgage, and the buyer's agent. Some buyer's agents, if they're under quarantine, or perhaps they are not able to attend, or they don't feel comfortable attending, we can make exceptions there. And if they wanted to FaceTime, we can FaceTime them in. We're really all trying to work together here. Now, for the in-person showings, we're asking sellers, turn on all the lights, open all the doors. That's closet doors. It's everything but the front door. And then the listing agent will open the front door when they get to the house to start the showing. We're also asking the sellers to sanitize surfaces prior to showing, although it's a little contradictory, but it's precautionary, because the reason why we ask them to open all the doors is for the buyers. We're telling them it's a look only showing. Do not open anything. Do not open cabinet doors. Do not touch anything. We're trying to keep that social distancing, that physical social distancing, as safe as possible, and we want to just try not to cross-contaminate between buyers and sellers. Now, for those of you who want more information on Rhode Island specific guidelines, they're pretty similar to Massachusetts. I believe there are a couple of differences. So if you're showing houses or you want to see properties in Rhode Island, make sure you follow the Rhode Island guidelines. If you're going to be in Massachusetts, make sure you follow the Massachusetts guidelines. So if you want to see all of the Rhode Island guidelines for realtors and showings, you can go to rirealtors.org. You can see it on your screen right there. Go over there to rirealtors.org, and then there's a banner right at the top, coronavirus. Click there. There's a ton of information on that page. You can drill down a little bit further as well, and there's an FAQ section. So we can get to the FAQs, which are right FAQs for realtors. So we have 1 through 18 right now for FAQs. So you can go there and get a lot of information just to make sure that we're keeping everyone safe. All right, that's it for now. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to shoot me a text, phone call, send me a Facebook message, email, and I'll help you out any way I can. And in the meantime, remember, keep your wings level, and I gotta fly.